Hello everyone, welcome to Step 421 class. In this week, we'll study domain estimation under simple random sampling. So far, we have considered estimating the population means or population totals. However, in practice, we may also want to study the characteristics of one or more subsets of the population. The goal is to estimate the compare subpopulation, that is the domain, population parameters. If you have used stratified sampling with strata defined by the subpopulation of interest, then it's very simple. Basically, we have only to use stratum estimators such as stratum mean. If the sampling design is a simple random sampling, then it's a little bit more tricky, and we have not designed the sample specifically to estimate the parameter for the domains. And so in this case, domain estimation can be considered. In domain estimation, the goal is to estimate and compare means, totals, and proportions for the subsets of the population. Here, the domain means a subset of the finite population, and the features are the domain membership is unknown, and the domain population size may be also unknown, and domain sample size, so that is important, random. We'll study that domain estimation can be made as an application of ratio estimation that we learned in week 10 lecture. Here's an example of transformation variance study. Suppose that we are interested in comparing proportion of household with a working vehicle in low-income household versus other household. For sample selection, simple random sampling of the telephone numbers and no information about the household income. So we cannot really use. If we have that information available, we could do a stratified sampling. We could stratify the population based on the household income level, but we don't have that information in the sampling frame. So the two domains, so that's why we just use the simple random sampling. And the two domains, low income household or others. And we do not know which domain of household belongs to prior to study. So in this study, data collected from the samples are response variable y. So that is the main study variable, and also we have another variable that basically shows some information about the domain membership. So that means whether or not the particular household is low income or not. Okay. To formally discuss domain estimation, we introduce some framework and notation. So the finite population U is divided into capital D, mutually exclusive and exhaustive domains. Okay. So this one is exclusive and exhaustive, actually. Exhaustive and exclusive means that mu d and mu d prime are empty, right? So anyway, we may not have information on domain membership prior to survey. So that means we don't have that capital N D is not necessarily known. So the notation here means the size. Number of element of the set. Okay. And after collecting data, we can obtain domain membership in the sample. So that means we can actually identify which element belong to which group, right? Which domain. So then sample size for that domain is also available. So we can write it as this. So so the notation is somewhat similar to stratified sampling, but the main difference is that ND, okay, I'm sorry, ND is no longer, so is not fixed. So that means it's random. While in stratified sampling, sample size or location. So sample size or location is what? Sample size or location in stratified sampling or location determines an age, right? So then in this case, this is fixed. So that is the main difference. In stratified sampling, this sample size for particular domain is fixed, while in the usual domain estimation, they are random. So again, in domain estimation, ND, sample size in domain D is random. So unlike stratified sampling, we don't know ND until after the data has been collected. Thus, the value of ND changes from sample to sample. Okay, so that's what we already discussed. On the other hand, in stratified sampling, we may have a straight domain, and in this case, domain sample size are known and fixed. So under this framework, we are mainly interested in either the domain mean or estimating the domain mean or domain total. So domain mean can be written as something like this. So this is a population parameter, right? So this is a parameter actually. And this parameter that we are interested in estimating is essentially a kind of a mean here. So this is kind of a mean, but the mean of y in a subset of the finite population. So for some which is UD, and domain total is just the summation of yi's in that domain.